And I'm back with the next exciting adventure in lesson 7-2, angle relationships and triangles. These are your practice problems, and these will be the problems that you will find on the McGraw-Hill website. They are also in your workbook on page 403. Okay, let's see. Practice problem number 1, find the value of x in each object. Okay, this relies on that little rule that we have learned that the 3 angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So we know in this case, so I better go to pen. All right, we know in this case that this angle plus this angle plus this angle has to equal 180 degrees. So we have 30 plus the angle we don't know has to equal 180 degrees. Now we just have to figure out what x is. 30 plus 30 is 60. And so 60 plus x is 180. In order to get x by itself, we subtract 60 from both sides, and we get that x is equal to 120 degrees. Check the diagram, see if it seems about right. Yep, that is a big old obtuse angle. So x would be equal to 120 degrees. Okay. And now remember, on McGraw-Hill, don't type the word degrees. We covered that before spring break, but you've probably forgotten everything but your name by now. So don't type the word degrees in there. You can't do it. All right, so on number 2, again, they're asking us to find the third angle. It looks like they've only given you one angle, but you'll notice they've got the square here. That tells us that this one is 90 degrees. So we have 40 plus 90 plus the angle we don't know equals 180. 40 plus 90 is 130. Okay, and now if we subtract 130 from both sides to solve for x, we find that x is equal to 50 degrees. Okay, does that seem right? Yep, it seems right. It's less than 90, so I feel pretty good about that. All right, also on page 403, we have problems 3 and 4. Now, they're not giving you a picture, okay? They're just telling you that you have a triangle and the angles have the ratio 4, 4, 10. Find the measure of each angle. Remember, when we were working with these ratios, what they did to solve these is they said 4x plus 4x plus 10x equals 180. 180 is our magic number when dealing with triangles. All right, so now we add all these together. 4x plus 10x is 18x equals 180. And so if we divide both sides by 18, we arrive at the solution x is equal to 10. 10 is not the answer to this problem. They want you to find the measure of each angle, but you can use 10 to find those. The first 2 angles are 4 times 10, so that would be 40. So we have 2 angles of 40 degrees, and the last angle is 10 times x, or 10 times 10, which would be 100 degrees. You can check yourself to make sure that these add up to 180 degrees, and they do. So I feel pretty good about this as our solution. Okay. In the knitting pattern, the measure of angle 1 is 42. Find the measure of angle 2. All right, this is relying on the exterior angle theorem that says that this angle here is equal to the 2 remote interior angles added together. Well, they didn't give us this one in number form, but they have marked it as a right angle. So that means this is a 90-degree angle, and they've given us the measure of angle 1 in the problem, okay? So angle 1 is 42, and this other angle is 90, all right? So all we have to do is we say the measure of angle 2, the thing we don't know, is equal to 90 plus 42. This couldn't get easier, could it? So the measure of angle 2 is 132 degrees. Okay, and it looks right. It looks like this is an obtuse angle, so I kind of feel good about the 132. All right, number 5. In the figure, the measure of angle 4 is 74. I'm going to write these in here because I like to have my measures right there. That one's 74. The measure of angle 3 is 43. And they want you to find the measures of angles 1 and 2. All right, well, let's see. We know that the measure of angle 2 is 180 minus 74, because don't these make a straight line? So if angle 4 added to angle 2 equals 180, we could solve for angle 2 really quick by going, what's 180 minus 74? I've got a calculator. No, oh, well, you know what? That's 106. That's too easy. So 106. So the measure of angle 2, well, measure angle 1, measure angle 2. Measure of angle 2 is 106. Okay. And now that we know the measure of this one is 106 and the measure of this one is 43, we know these three together have to add to 180. So 106 plus 43 plus the x, the one we don't know, has to equal 180. All right. So this would be 149 plus x equals 180. And if we subtract 149 from both sides, we get that x is 31. So this one is 31 degrees. Now we go. That's all you got to do. Use your little triangle rules. Okay. What is the measure of x in degrees in the figure shown? Okay, so they've marked an exterior angle. They want to know what that is. I know this is equal to this angle plus this angle. They have not given me this angle, but can I find it? You bet I can, because I know that this angle plus this one make a straight line. See, so what I can do is I can do 180 minus 45, and then I'll know what this angle is. 180 minus 45 is 135. Okay, so that tells me that this angle is 135. And I know this angle is equal to this one plus this one. Okay, so what's 135 plus 22? 157. So my answer be 157. Now, I'll put these on the practice, but I would not test you on something that complicated. I only expect you to be able to find the missing third angle, okay? And I'm certainly not going to give you any of the algebraic ones. I think those are just too much. Like these two problems, yeah, they'll be on the practice, but I'm not putting them on a test or a quiz. I would not do that to you guys. All right, so let's look at how we're going to solve these. Let's make them bigger. Bigger and bigger. This helps. Okay. What are the measures of ADC and DCB? All right, ADC. ADC. So we need the measure of this angle right here. We'll make this be the red angle. So the measure of angle ADC is the red one. And now we'll switch to blue for the other one, DCB. DCB. So that's this angle right here. Okay. We have not been given any parallel lines, so we're not going to be able to use any of those parallels and transversal rules. We're just going to have to crank this out knowing the measures of the interior angles of a triangle equal 180. Okay. So if we're going to start, let's go ahead and start with, it doesn't really matter in this case which one we start with. We have information on all three angles for both triangles. So you could start with this triangle or this one. I'm going to start with this one. And I'm going to add those three angles together. 43 is this one. 3y plus 7 is this one. Oh, wait a minute. I can't do that because this is an x and that's a y. Oh, be careful of that. I can't start with that plan then. That's not going to work, because I can't have x and y in the same problem. I want to keep my y's and my x's all together. Okay, so let's do it this way. Oh, there's more than one way to do this. These two angles make a straight line, and they both have y's. So let's start there. If I add this angle to this angle, it should equal 180. So let's start with that plan instead. 3y plus 7. And then add it to 3y minus 13 has to equal 180 degrees because they make a straight line. Combine like terms, it gives me 6y, and a positive 7 combined with a negative 3 gives me a negative 6 equals 180. Now I can add 6 to both sides to trying to isolate y here. Gives me 6y equals 186. And then I divide both sides by 6, which I think I can do this in my head, but I'm going to double check. I think it should be 31. 86 divided by 6. Oh, the calculator's off. That's not any fun. 186 divided by 6. Yep, 31. So y is equal to 31. This helps me because now I know what this angle is and I know what this angle is, okay? And I need to solve for this one. So 3y plus 7, 3y plus 7 is the red angle, and I'm using blue. That's such bad form. I know y is 31, so I go 3 times 31 plus 7, and that would be 93 plus 7 equals 100. So this angle right here, the red angle, is equal to 100 degrees. So I've solved that one. That's one solution. I know you are 100 degrees. But I also need to know this one, okay? Well, I know that y is 31. I found that. So I can solve for this angle, all right? This angle is 3y minus 13. And if y is 31, we would go 3 times 31 minus 13. 3 times 31 is 93. And 93 minus 13 is 80. So this angle is 80 degrees. And this one is 61. Now I can finally solve for this guy because I know this one plus this one plus this one equals 180. So 4x minus 1 plus 80 plus 61 equals 180. I'm going to add all these numbers together. 4x, this will give me 60 and 80 gives me 140. What I did in my head is I had a minus 1 here, so I took it off of the 61 and made that 60. And then I added 60 and 80 together in my head and got 140. That's what I was doing. Okay, and now to get x by itself, I'm going to subtract 140 from both sides. And that gives me 4x equals 40. And I think we can all guess where this is going. That means that x is 10. All right, so if we know that x is 10, can we solve for this blue guy now? You bet we can. The measure of angle, and he was DCB. Yeah, he's DCB. DCB, okay, that's that angle, is 4x minus 1. Well, if x is 10, so it would be 4 times 10 minus 1, which would be 40 minus 1, which is 39. So the measure of angle DCB is 39 degrees. Bet you're glad I did these for you. Yeah, I wish somebody would do these for me. So on number 7, your two answers are here. The measure of angle ADC is 100, and the measure of angle DCB is 39. Okay, then we just hope that I'm right. All righty, coming over here to this little guy. What do we have going on here? What are the measures of CAB? CAB, so they want this one right here. We'll call this the blue angle, although I was totally inconsistent with my colors in the last problem. And the other angle they want is ACB. ACB, so they want this angle right here. Oh, that's not too bad because it's going to be whatever this one is. Those are vertical angles. All right, so I think what we're going to do here is we're going to start with the idea of the exterior angle theorem that tells us that, do I want to start there? Let's see. What do I know? Got that one. I do not have anything here. Okay, those lines are not parallel. This one plus this one has to equal 180. Okay. Well, I don't know what to do. what to do first. Well, if this one is 7x plus 3, this one is 7x plus 3. Okay, and if this is 103, I can figure out what this one is. That's what I'm going to do, because that makes a straight line. So 103 plus whatever this one is makes a straight line. So I'm going to do 180 minus 103. All right, and that's going to give me 77. So this angle is 77. And now I know this one is 7x plus 3 because they're vertical angles. This one's 77 because added to this one is 180. And then I can add it to this one and I can solve it. There probably is another way to do this, but this just happens to be the way I came up with. I'm going to add these three triangle angles together, 3x minus 10. And then this one, 7x plus 3. Okay. And then I'm going to add this one, 77. And I know they all equal 180. So my goal here is to solve for x so I can figure out what these angles are, what the angle measures are. I have a 3x and a 7x. It gives me a 10x. And I've got a negative 10, which when I take 10 away from this gives me 67. But if I add 3 more in, that's going to give me positive 70. You could have used a calculator if you wanted. You would just go negative 10 plus 3 plus 77. And I know that all equals 180. Trying to get x by itself, I would subtract 70 from both sides. And that would give us 10x equals 110. And dividing both sides by 10 tells me x is 11. Okay, so now I can solve for these angles. They want the red one. The red one I know is 7x plus 3. And I know x is 11. So I substitute 11. That would be 77 plus 3 is 80. So the measure of angle ACB, okay, the measure of angle ACB is 80. Okay. The other angle they want is CAB. So the measure of angle CAB is 3x minus 10. Well, x is 11, so 3x minus 10. X is 11, so we go 3 times 33 minus 10. 3 times 33. Oh, no, I went ahead and multiplied that. Oh, wait. I got ahead of myself. Come on. Okay. It's supposed to be 3 times 11. 3 times 11 is 33. Minus 10. 33 minus 10 is 23. Teachers do that a lot. We have to be thinking of the next step always. And sometimes the next step gets put into the first step. So the measure of angle CAB is 23. I took this formula right here, 3x plus 10. I substituted 11 for x because we've solved for x and we know it's 11. All right, we did 3 times 11 is 33. 33 minus 10 is 23. And that's how I solved that one. This is a lot. I know. I'm looking at this page going, oh my gosh, look at all this math work. I promise these will not be on a test, only on the practice. All right, so number 9, find the error. A student is finding the measures of the angles on a triangle that have the ratio 4, 4, 7. Find the mistake and correct it. Well, they've set it up right. 4x plus 4x plus 7x equals 180. All right, and 4x plus 4x plus, or 4 plus 4 plus 7 is 15. So they added those together correctly. And they said, okay, 180 divided by 15 is 12. So they said the measures of the angles are 12, 12, and 84. Okay, what did they do wrong? No, the angles were 4x, 4x, and 7x. Well, they multiplied 7 times 12, but they didn't multiply the 4s. These should have each been 48. And this should have been 48, and this one is 84. Okay. Their measures don't even add up to 180 degrees. We're not going to do number 10. I think it's just a little too complicated. The measure of angle A is twice the measure of angle B, and angle C is 20 degrees less than the measure of angle B. You would have to draw the triangle, and then you would have to create equations to represent those angles. Yeah, no, the state's not going to ask anything that complicated on a state test. Okay, so that's all we have for the practice problems. Go on over to McGraw-Hill and complete your practice assignment. And then in the next exciting installment, we'll do review for quiz, where I will show you exactly what kinds of problems you might see on your quiz. All right. In the meantime, have a great day. See you guys in class.